All right, a little present-day history that we're going to review today in our hot sauce. We're taking a trip back to the time of the War of 1812, and we have Buffalo City Council member David Franzek and historian Otis Glover here, and this year marks the bicentennial.
Yes, it does. We're having the War of 1812 bicentennial commemoration celebration in Delaware Park July 6th, which is Friday, the July 4th weekend. And we're going to have the Buffalo Philharmonic playing, and we'll have a U.S. Air Force flyover, parachute us into the medal. And basically it's going to be a family day of activities. We have a War of 1812, a war of honoring the veterans of war and first responders that will be taking place, along with many other activities.
When does all this start?
It starts at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's right there in Delaware Park, right in back of the zoo.
Okay, tell us more about how getting this started for the city and making this part of the celebration.
Well, very important things happened here in Buffalo. Events that are historically of extreme importance, and many of us don't even remember or even knew about that. You know, I'd go to Canada for years, we all did, and I didn't know we had a war with Canada at one point. And it was part of a wider conflict with England and Napoleon in France, but this was one of the most important areas that should be remembered. And, you know, 100 years ago, they had a week of celebrations. Now, our celebration is going to be a great one that Mr. Glover and the Olmsted and all the committee is helping to remember the lives that were lost and remember, more importantly, the 200 years of peace between 4,000 miles of undefended border. We're great friends with Canada, but at one time there was, you know, we were at odds with each other where, you know, the capital Washington was burned, Buffalo was burned. We burned Toronto, which is called York, and Niagara on the Lake. And it was a nasty, you know, fight between people that lived across the river from each other. But Niagara Frontier was of critical importance to our history. I don't know if they teach that in our schools. They didn't when I was a kid.
I don't think they did. And you actually gave me a little history lesson that I either forgot or that I never knew before. You've also done things. You've planted some trees.
We planted 2 yellow willow trees, emblematical of the burial site where the boulder is at in the Olmsted Park Golf Meadow. And 300 soldiers are buried there from the War of 1812. Russ Salvatore was the donor of the 2 yellow willow trees, which were planted 200 years ago. And so we replanted those, and he will be receiving the certificates of the first 2 trees that was of 300 that we'll be planting in Delaware Park that the public can participate in.
There's a lot of history this weekend, especially because we're marking July 4th. And as you said, our relationship with Canada. We have the Friendship Festival.
That's right.
That starts... Does it start today or tomorrow?
It starts
today.
Yeah,
and then it runs through Monday.
Right.
And then we have Friday's commemoration ceremony, 5 p.m.
Yes.
I love the flyover aspect and the parachutist. Has that ever been done?
No, this is the first time and the last time because the city had to give a special dispensation, and we're thankful to the Common Council and the mayor for really stepping up to make this happen as a salute to the fallen and also the war veterans and also the first responders.
You're going to have the Buffalo Philharmonic coming in, and then I think that's the War of 1812 Overture they're going to play. That's really exciting.
And I'm sure the sound will be fantastic.
And we're culminating it with a fantastic fireworks this way.
Always, right?
Right there in Delaware Park.
Of course. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today and for what a wonderful job in marking our history.
Thank you very much.
With that, we're going to go to our web producer, Emily Linehan, for a last time. Hey, Em.